What's up, everybody? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I am about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven true or fact, we see it happening in some way, it's confirmed by the company or the wrestler themselves, it remains what it is, a rumor. So with that, let's get into a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Now, this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors is going to be a little different as we are coming off of a Royal Rumble. We have feelings, we have thoughts. There is so much to talk about in the Royal Rumble. And as I am recording this, it is Saturday. It is late into the afternoon, about 4:13 p.m. I just finished watching the Royal Rumble, just finished watching the post show, and now I'm here. I'm here to talk rumors, and then I'm going to talk everything Royal Rumble. But we can't have a Wrestling with Rumors without some rumors. So let's get into a few rumors, and then we're gonna dive into everything, thoughts, feelings, everything that is the Royal Rumble. So WrestleVotes claims JD McDonough won't be back from injury anytime soon, and it's looking more likely it will be around WrestleMania or the spring. So, with JD McDonough, I feel that he'll be back in time for WrestleMania. I feel like there's something afoot in the air. I feel like something new is about to happen. When you look at Finn Balor and this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw and how that ended and how he went after CM Punk the way he did, we got a new there's something different about Finn Balor, and I feel that JD McDonough, when he comes back, is gonna be involved in that in some way. And I also feel that with this new Finn, with this let's get serious, a more serious Finn Balor, I feel that I feel like the Judgment Day, this faction of the Judgment Day is coming to an end, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more why I feel that way a little bit later into this episode. They also say, now I'm talking about is WrestleVotes, says Wembley Stadium is AEW focused because they don't want to pay for WWE right now. Now, there has been a lot of speculations and talks about when WWE does a WrestleMania in London. And yes, I say when because it is going to happen. If Saudi Arabia gets a WrestleMania, then so does London. So yes, it's going to happen. WrestleMania is going to happen in London. And yes, it will most likely be at Wembley Stadium, like back in 1992 for SummerSlam. But I think Wembley Stadium is focused on AEW and because they don't want to pay, because it is possible that and I can't say WWE on this. I would say because of what TKO is probably charging, is probably something they don't want to put all their money, they don't want to put that amount of money into right now. And it is possible that what AEW charges is more affordable for Wembley Stadium, at least for now. And that is possibly what they are talking about in that. Plus, as I believe it, All In is going to be in Wembley Stadium this year. So that's probably how they're focused with AEW right now as far as that goes. But I do believe that when it happens when WWE has WrestleMania in Wembley Stadium, because it's going to happen. And it's definitely going to happen in our lifetime. Hopefully, I believe it. So when it does happen, I look forward to that. But I think for now, as I said before, they're just staying focused on AEW for all the reasons that I said that possibly could be the reasons. So sources told votes that Pat McAfee is expected to return to WWE programming soon. So this is something I feel that we all knew was eventually going to happen again, that eventually he would return. He took as much time as he needed to step away. He was exhausted. He was burned out from everything that he was doing, not just with being on the commentary table for WWE for Monday Night Raw, and for the PLEs as well, but just everything else that he does outside of WWE, outside everything he does outside of WWE. So it just was all beginning to catch up with him, and he just needed some time to catch his breath and just focus on the other things and not WWE, at least for now. Just allow himself to catch his breath, get the rest he needs, and based on that, expected to return. It sounds like he's ready to go. And he did say in a past interview a few months ago that he is ready to go. So it's just all about timing and when is the right time to put him back in the seat. And it sounds like that is happening very soon. Based on the page for WWE 2K26 on the ESRB's website, it looks like the video game will not be released on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, which are from the older generation of gaming consoles. That was always the possibility that was going to happen, that it's time to leave what is in the past with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and that I think that they're doing this because one of my best guesses is that they've given people enough time who needed to or wanted to get either a new Xbox or a PS5 to get one. So if you really want to play 2K26, WWE 2K26, especially with all the different editions they have for WWE 2K26. I mean, they have 4 editions of 2K26 for you to pre-order, from the Monday Night War edition to the Triple H edition to the Attitude Era edition, and then the just the original game itself, without all the addition stuff that come with the game, with CM Punk on the cover. So with those 4 editions, you got one for $69.99, you got one for $99, you got one for $129, and then you got the other one for $149. So with all those choices, if you really want to play it, whatever edition you decide to get, you got to have yourself a up-to-date Xbox or an up-to-date PlayStation, and definitely an up-to-date Nintendo Switch. So a Nintendo Switch too. So I think the time to make games available for these consoles is over, and those are now just those are just now in the past, and it's just all about the new. It's all about focusing on the new stuff. Plus, as I can tell, WWE 2K26, for the most part, if you want to pre-order it, it's only digital only. So I think it's also getting to a point where they're moving away from hard copies of video games and making it digital only. So if you want the game, you pre-order it through one of the ways to pre-order it is through either your Xbox, your store on Xbox, the Microsoft store, or through the PlayStation Network to pre-order it. It would seem is the way that they're going with that. So yeah, it's like everything is moving towards the digital area. All the having hard copies of stuff like video games and movies and music is kind of feeling like a thing in the past, and it kind of makes me feel old. And it's really I'm really feeling my age on that, because I was born in 83, so I grew up when there were cassette tapes and CDs were new, and VHS tapes were still fairly new at that time, and vinyl was still around, not as much, because you were looking at cassette tapes and CDs, and then after cassette tapes kind of vanished, then it became about CDs, and after VHS tapes went away, then it was about DVDs, And then for like a moment, HD DVDs, but then Blu-ray came in and blew that out of the water, and then digital. So it's all, yeah, it's interesting to grow up and watch the evolution of these stages of video games and movies and music, not just how they look and how they sound, but also how to purchase it. So wow. Anyway, those are our few rumors. So now we've got thoughts, we've got feelings, and we're officially on the road to WrestleMania. So let's go ahead and look back on everything that was the Royal Rumble. So, first match of the night was the Women's Royal Rumble. And as we look at the Women's Royal Rumble, the first two in the Women's Royal Rumble, it was Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. So and they didn't really fight each other. There were moments where it looked like it was gonna happen, like you look at almost a sister Abigail. You look at a figure four almost, but it didn't go like that. It was just them. But so um, as far as NXT surprise entrants, returns, and winners go, we look at NXT. NXT in the the women's roster, which was stacked. You have Lola Vice, Sol Ruka, JC Jade, and Kalani Jordan all making an appearance in the Royal Rumble. And I have to say, Lola Vice, Sol Ruka, JC Jade, Kalani Jordan, these are four women who are main roster ready. And to see them on a big stage in WWE at the Royal Rumble shows that it's a matter of it's months. We are months away. In the coming months, absolutely, we're going to see a Lola Vice, a Sol Ruka, a JC Jane, and a Kalani Jordan in the main roster on Raw and SmackDown. These women are ready for it. And I was happy to see them in the Royal Rumble. I was excited for it. It was great to see them in there. They stayed in for a good amount of time. Not a long time, but a good amount of time. So I was happy for them. As a surprise entrance, we only got one, and it was Brie Bella, and it was a pop. Brie Bella got a pop. When you heard that music hit, when that Brie mode, I'm sorry for that. But when you heard that, she comes running out. It was yes, and you're like, and instantly you start thinking, now is she back? Because scenarios of it, if she is back, there's an absolute path for Brie and Nikki Bella to go after the WWE Women Championships, to absolutely be in a scenario where they have a match at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for those WWE Women Championships. And we go further than that, see a scenario where Brie Bella is helping Nikki Bella win a singles championship in the WWE Women's Championship. And I see a scenario in which Nikki Bella is helping Brie Bella winning a Women's Intercontinental Championship, possibly. There are scenarios that I can see that if we're looking at something that goes past WrestleMania into Royal Rumble for the WWE Women's Championship, and we get like one last full run of the Bella Twins, there are matches to be had, there are championships to be won, and they are looking to possibly accomplish those before they hang it up for good. So it was great to see Brie Bella in the Royal Rumble. It was great for them to have that quick moment where they were hugging Nikki and Brie in the middle of a WWE ring together. Once again, that was great. And I just hope it goes further than just what we saw at the Royal Rumble, and that it leads into something in the form of possibly a match for the WWE Women's Championship, possibly. I hope we get something out of that. As far as returns go, we only got one return. It was Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy Time is backed in, clocked back in. Tiffany Stratton's the only one we got back. It was good to see Tiffany Stratton come back, taking some time off to heal herself after injury. So hasn't lost a step. She's good to go. She's ready to go. But she didn't win the Royal Rumble. But it was good to see her back in the ring, ready to get back to it. Now, there were two women that I don't know if I should say expecting to come back or hoping. I think I'm going to say hoping, that I were hoping we're going to make a surprise, a return to WWE. As far as surprise entrance goes, I was hoping for an AJ Lee. I was hoping for an AJ Lee in the Women's Royal Rumble. When she came back a couple of months ago, I was really kind of I was thinking a little far ahead and thinking that yes, AJ Lee in the Women's Royal Rumble. I am excited to see that, but she didn't show. She wasn't in the Women's Royal Rumble this year. It's possibly for personal reasons she didn't want to because it was in Saudi Arabia, and if that's the case, I respect that. And also, as far as returns go, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was someone I was hoping was going to make a return at the Royal Rumble, but no, she didn't. She didn't make her return at the Royal Rumble either. And we are officially. It is officially we are into February now, and I'm starting to wonder where is Bianca Belair? When is she coming back? Yeah, when is she coming back? So we gotta wait on that. And as far as the winner goes, Liv Morgan. There have been speculations and rumors that it was going to be Liv Morgan, and how we got to Liv Morgan was Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel Rodriguez in order to make sure that she guarantees herself a win. So how that looks moving forward for Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan on the post show said that everything is good between her and Judgment Day, but the look on Raquel Rodriguez's face says a different story. So I feel that this is one of those other things that's gonna start to crumbles within Judgment Day, and I feel that Liv Morgan eliminating Raquel Rodriguez. Granted, it is every woman for herself in the Royal Rumble, so no hard feelings in it. But you can't help but feel that Raquel Rodriguez takes it a little personal. A little personal that Liv Morgan was the one to eliminate her. And I know Raquel Rodriguez, she has a #1 contenders match for that Women's World Championship. But still, you can't help but feel that Raquel Rodriguez feels that it's a little personal for her. That Liv Morgan was the one to eliminate her. So you got to feel for Raquel Rodriguez in that a little bit, and starts to question what this does to Judgment Day and whether or not it really starts to crumble, and Judgment Day starts to, I guess for a lot of people would say, finally fade away, but I would just say just reaches the end of its chapter as a Judgment Day. So between Liv Morgan and possibly something with Raquel Rodriguez and what's going on with Finn Balor right now, we're possibly reaching the final chapter that is Judgment Day. That began years ago with the Rated R superstar Edge. Now, as far as who Liv Morgan will pick, I believe it will be for the WWE Women's World Championship. Now, it's either going to be Stephanie Vaquer or Raquel Rodriguez that ends up going up against Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. And I could see a scenario where it is a triple threat, where something possibly happens in that women's championship match between Raquel Rodriguez and Stephanie Vaquer. Whether or not Vaquer wins or not, but something happens that could set up what could be a triple threat at WrestleMania. Now, as far as we look at the match, we look at Charlotte Flair. She lasted 59 minutes and 49 seconds before she got eliminated by Lash Legend. And Lash Legend with 5 eliminations in the Women's Royal Rumble. Pure domination. Lash Legend had an absolute showing at the Royal Rumble. And I can't help but feel that Lash Legend is absolutely going to win a Royal Rumble if you look at a 5-year future for Lash Legend in WWE, there is a Royal Rumble win and a championship win at WrestleMania for Lash Legend in her near future. Great showing. Charlotte Flair staying came in was in the number one spot for the Royal Rumble, and then going almost going an hour before she was eliminated by Lash Legend. So a great showing for for Charlotte Flair, and a pure dominant showing for Lash Legend. A great match. And once again, what Monday Night Raw looks like with Liv Morgan and what Raquel Rodriguez has to say and how that looks moving forward. I am looking forward to that. So the next matchup was AJ Styles versus Gunther. This is one of those matches I just couldn't wait because I was very impatient and I just wanted the Band-Aid to rip off whether he wins or not. And obviously I wanted him to win. And this was a battle. This was a true battle. This felt like this was like Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker in WrestleMania 26 with Shawn Michaels' career on the line, and how Shawn Michaels went out on his sword. It's the same thing AJ Styles did in this match against Gunther. AJ Styles went out on his sword, and the career killer, the ring general, Gunther, adds another name to his list of careers he's killed. Goldberg, John Cena, now AJ Styles, and now it's even possible that if we're looking at the next couple of months, as we are now on the road to WrestleMania, it is possible that we could be looking at a Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, and it's possible that Gunther could add Brock Lesnar to that list. And I would not throw it past Gunther to get that job done. I could see Gunther absolutely not dominating over Brock Lesnar because it's Brock Lesnar, but having a match, but it being a hell of a hard-hitting type fight, but Gunther getting the win against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania if it goes down that road. But AJ Styles' career is over in WWE. And we all got thoughts and we all got feelings about it. Here's what I will say. I feel that AJ Styles' 10-year career in WWE, 10 years later, where he started his WWE career at the Royal Rumble, is how he ends his WWE career at the Royal Rumble 10 years later. Now, as far as his pro wrestling career in whole, I feel that it's not over. I feel that AJ Styles' pro wrestling career will end where it began for him, which is TNA. I feel that AJ Styles will go back to TNA, and he will have the matches that he wants to have in TNA, and possibly even have an opportunity at the TNA World title, have one last run as the TNA World Champion before it's over for AJ Styles. That's what I think. And I'm speculating that that's how I feel it could go. Now, if it doesn't go that way and AJ Styles doesn't show up on TNA saying I may be done in WWE, but I'm not done yet, and he comes back to TNA one last time and finishes up in TNA where it all began for him. If it doesn't go that way, then low key, while we were all watching John Cena have his retirement tour, secretly AJ Styles was also having his retirement tour as well. And you could low-key say that all those matches we saw AJ Styles have in WWE in 2025 were his last matches. And to think that his final two matches was against Shinsuke Nakamura and CM Punk, two great competitors, two great matches. Wow. Just wow. And the fact that in the span that from December to January, we said goodbye to both John Cena and AJ Styles is a lot. And I'm still I still don't want it to be over, you know? But if it's really over for AJ Styles and he's not going to show up, if he's not going to show up on TNA or anywhere else, but I think if he were to show up anywhere, it would be to finish his career in TNA. But if it's not to show up anywhere else, then thank you, AJ Styles, for everything. For everything you did in TNA, for everything you did in New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Bullet Club, the matches you gave us, the moments you gave us, for everything you did in WWE, matches and moments. Thank you for everything. And whatever you do next outside of pro wrestling is earned. He is a legend. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer in WWE whenever that time comes. And if it's really, really over, thank you, AJ Styles. Next was Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Sami Zayn went to war, you know, but I think he hurt his collarbone. There was a move he did out that took him outside the ring, and it didn't land right. And I believe he hurt his back, hurting his collarbone a little bit. And after he went to battle. He went to war. He did everything he could do to try and win that WWE Championship. But that powerbomb Drew McIntyre laid on Sami Zayn on the announcer's booth for the Saudi Arabian announcer's booth. That was it for Sami. He was done after that. Got back in the ring, and Drew McIntyre retained. Sami Zayn did everything he could to try and win the WWE Championship, but Drew McIntyre did a little bit more to keep his WWE Championship, and he retained. It was a good match. What's next for Sami? I don't know, but I don't think Sami Zayn's opportunity at a WWE Championship is over. Sami Zayn, I truly believe, and I'll come back at the end of the year and say I'm wrong if I'm wrong about this, but I believe before this year is over, Sami Zayn will be a WWE champion. I believe that. I really believe that. And if we get to December of 2026 and it hasn't happened, I will come back and say that I was wrong. I will say that. Now, main event time. Men's Royal Rumble. The first one to enter into the ring, into the Royal Rumble, was Obafemi. Obafemi making his debut on the main roster, his first Royal Rumble. Second up, we already knew who the second one was Braun Breaker. Now, Braun Breaker makes his way to the ring, makes his way with Paul Heyman to the ring. As he does that, he is attacked by a hooded masked figure, all in black, and you can't help but think that was Seth Rollins that attacked Braun Breaker. I feel that was Seth Rollins because the sidekick, the way that stomp was given, that curb stomp was given, I believe that to be, and I think a lot of people, I believe I'm not the only one saying this, but I believe that to be Seth Rollins. And I'm sure we'll figure out who that was very soon on Monday Night Raw. So, Braun Breaker gets thrown back into the ring by that hooded figure, and Obafemi, ready to go, eliminates Braun Breaker like that. Braun Breaker out of the Royal Rumble. Masked hooded figure takes off. He did what he needed to do. If this is Seth Rollins, and I believe it's Seth Rollins, his vengeance on the Vision, on Braun Breaker, has officially begun. So we get into the Royal Rumble match itself. As far as surprise entrances go, Mystery Iguana, La Parka, two members of AAA, made their first appearance in a Royal Rumble. So that was fun, and that was great to see them in the Rumble. They did fairly well in the Rumble for surprise entrances. Big surprise entrance, making this rumor very true, and I'm proud. I'm glad I can finally say this and getting out of the lane of speculation that I've been in while everyone else was saying that he signed. Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys, has signed with WWE, makes his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble. Was great. And I love how they did it, where they showed the video. They showed the video, brick wall, and it had Powerhouse Hobbs' name on it. Then the bricks break down to say that this is who he was, this is who he is now. Royce Keys, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs, is now in WWE. He did very well. He did a good job for his first appearance in WWE. A moment of some stare downs with Powerhouse Hobbs, and just thinking of matches that it looks like the matches that he'll have, the opportunity at championships he'll have. I'm hoping he gets a spot. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure he will get a spot in the Elimination Chamber match. But hey, Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys, is now in WWE. Congratulations on him. Looking forward to see what this first year in WWE looks like for Royce Keys. And as far as returns go, we got a Chad Gable making his return and I'm so glad they did this, because I had questions about how they were going to do this moving forward when he was going to make his return. So Chad Gable comes back as the original El Grande Americano. And it was great because the look on El Grande Americano's face was shock. And what he does, he goes right after El Grande Americano, original El Grande Americano going after El Grande Americano. And they have this moment where they're pointing at, doing the Spider-Man thing, where it's like, where the Spider-Men from all different universes point and look at each point. They did the pointing thing. It was great. I posted that picture on social media. But it was great to see that. And then original El Grande Americano eliminating El Grande Americano. So what this looks like moving forward, Chad Gable is back, but only as original El Grande Americano. He didn't come back as Chad Gable in the Royal Rumble, which really would have been a cool thing if he came back also as Chad Gable as well. But Chad Gable is back, not as himself, but as El Grande Americano, original El Grande Americano. So I'm sure we'll see Chad Gable himself on Raw very soon, probably Monday. But that was fun. And LA Knight makes his return, and so does Roman Reigns. Now, LA Knight, when he makes his return, he gets back in the ring and he is on a mission, and he goes after every member of the Vision. He eliminates Bronson Reed. He eliminates Austin Theory. He does not eliminate Logan Paul. Logan Paul got taken out by someone else. Now, Obafemi gets eliminated from this Royal Rumble, but he makes his debut on the main roster in the Royal Rumble with 5 eliminations and lasting 39 minutes as the number 1 entrant into the Royal Rumble. Now, Cody Rhodes got eliminated from Drew McIntyre, as Cody Rhodes almost went over the top and he stopped himself, and as he was trying to pull himself back over, because he was on the top rope from his stomach, kind of leaning, he was like this, trying to pull himself up. As he was trying to do that, he gets kicked by Drew McIntyre. Jacob Fatu sees this happening, though. It's like shock. He had a look of shock on his face. But McIntyre making sure Cody Rhodes doesn't win the Royal Rumble. Now, as far as how that looks, I feel that another seed has been planted in what could happen at WrestleMania. I really feel that we're going to get a triple threat at WrestleMania for that WWE Championship, for Cody Rhodes, for Jacob Fatu, and for Drew McIntyre. I believe it's going to be a triple threat for that WWE Championship. I really feel that's going to happen. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, and making his announcement that not only was he going to come back into the Royal Rumble, but he was going to win it, and he's going to get back down to business. And that's exactly what he did. He wins the Royal Rumble. And I think it's going to be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk at WrestleMania for the WWE for that World Heavyweight title. I think that's how it's going to go. I feel that's the match. Um, and I feel that I can sit here and admit that my prediction of how things were going to look as far as Braun Breaker winning the world title, either at a Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania, that's not gonna happen. No, I think going into WrestleMania, believing that mass hooded figure all in black was Seth Rollins, I think that we are getting a Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania non-title, is how that looks. And I feel that we got CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for that title, for that world title. We got we got a possible triple threat for the WWE Championship in Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Now, with the Royal Rumble now in the books, and now we're officially on this road to WrestleMania. We have Elimination Chamber coming up within the next week or two. We should start beginning to have Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. Now, I feel that it is possible that Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu will both qualify for the Elimination Chamber. And whoever comes out of that Elimination Chamber will either probably be Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu. And if that is the case, I feel out of those two who don't win the Royal Rumble, I feel that in some way, somehow, either Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu will somehow insert themselves into that WWE Championship match and make it a triple threat. It is a possible way to go to get to WrestleMania for one of those two. So I could see that possibly happening. I could see that possibly happening because I feel that when you look at the Elimination Chamber, I feel that the WWE World Title is already locked with CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Now I could be wrong. We're speculating about who they'll pick, but I could see that, and that it's just all about who is going to face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. So you look at that, you're possibly looking at a Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu. Now, if it's Cody Rhodes that wins that Elimination Chamber match, I feel that in some way Jacob Fatu is going to insert himself to make that a triple threat somehow, because there's no way Jacob Fatu is in any way done with Cody Rhodes, because they didn't even get a match at Saturday night's main event. They just had a brawl. So they didn't get like a full-on match to see who was to win that match. So, and McIntyre has really inserted himself into that feud, especially when he took them both out at Saturday night's main event. So I feel that is the biggest insert that we're getting a triple threat at WrestleMania for that championship. And it's just a matter of how those pieces get put together. And you look at the women's side for the Elimination Chamber, if Raquel Rodriguez does not beat Stephanie Vaquer for the WWE Women's World Championship fairly soon, there is a scenario in which, let's just say, Liv Morgan picks Stephanie Vaquer to face at WrestleMania. There is a scenario possibly where you're looking at who's going to face Jada. Pardon me, I wanted to say Jada Parker. Pardon me. Who faces who faces, I keep wanting to say Jada Parker. I know it's not Jada Parker. Jade Cargill. Thank you. My God, mind is on Jada Parker. Can you blame me? Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Now there is still a window, a scenario in which Bianca Belair comes back, but before or as they're getting ready to start doing qualifying matches, and Bianca Belair gets put into a qualifying match and qualifies into the Elimination Chamber and possibly wins the Elimination Chamber, but she's already won the Elimination Chamber because she won last year. But it could happen again. She could win Elimination Chamber again and go off to face Jade Cargill. But I feel that at WrestleMania, I feel that it's possible that we could get a a Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania for that WWE Women's Championship. The feud has already started to build between those two. So there is an opportunity for that to happen. There are so many scenarios, so many things to speculate, so many ways that it could go. But overall, I enjoyed myself for this year's Royal Rumble. I know it wasn't exactly how people thought the Royal Rumble was going to go. I know when you look at the men's Royal Rumble, there was hope that possibly Chris Jericho was going to show up at the Royal Rumble, but he didn't. But just because he didn't show up at the Royal Rumble doesn't mean he's going to still possibly show up in WWE. You really can never say never in WWE. Expect the unexpected. Anything is possible. So we will look forward to what the next few months look like as we move forward now into the next few months of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and we have one more PLE in Elimination Chamber before we go to WrestleMania. So there is a lot that could and will happen on what has always been a twist and turny and bumpy road of WrestleMania. But for now, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all of you for watching, for listening. I hope all of you have a good, fun, and safe week. And I will be back next Sunday for a whole new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. Until then, don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I will see you absolutely on that next one. Peace, y'all.